everybody.
Hi.
Hearsay episode 17.
17. Have you noticed we have a new jingle?
Every time we do it.
17. I mean, y'all just keep up in it. Just keep up. So to start with, we have just come back from a fabulous afternoon tea, and we was invited by Rachel and Jocelyn, who are the founders of Afrocenchix. We have mentioned Afrocenchix on our platform before. They are one of the premium UK hair care companies out here, black owned of course, that we totally love and we worked with a few times. And they are currently expanding their range.
Yes.
And they're bringing out one called Spring, which is a nice butter, which is out.
Yeah, it's got avocado oil.
Avocado
butter.
Which sounds amazing. And overall, so at this brunch, we were just basically talking about ways in which they can grow their brand. And what I really like about them, I don't know about you, but the fact that they actually take time out to do something like have a brunch with influencers and bloggers, etc., just to find out, you know,
more than once as well.
Yeah, more than once, but just having that dialogue about our thoughts, what we think works, how we can work together, what, you know, their core values are and their aims are as a brand. And I feel like a lot of brands don't do that, so like I really appreciate the fact that they're doing that.
It gets you to see the story behind the brand, the people behind the brand, the strategy, gets your buy-in, and that's what I really love about them. They're really and they're very conscious of image and marketing. They're about empowering the dark-skinned black women with afro hair. Like, I love that.
And they don't shy away from that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, we don't want to do too much of this. They don't shy away from that, and you have to respect the hustle. Like, they've worked so hard, I think from 2009, you know, and it's just cruelty-free. And in terms of their natural ingredients, they really worked hard to create this brand.
They're certified. All of that.
They know everything, and
So they are launching a crowdfunding campaign that we would really love for you, our supporters, to support, to bring out the new butter, but also to rebrand their packaging and all of that and expand their range. And they really are looking to invest in the future in other black-owned companies that I love. We are really trying to commandeer you guys giving your support to their crowdfunding campaign, which would really mean the world to us. We love their products. I have to right here. So please go check them out.
And even if you can't personally, please share to somebody you know, a few people you know, and really get behind Afrocenchix, because they're doing so amazingly, and we just want to push them to even higher levels.
Definitely.
And so get behind them. And the link to their crowdfunding is in the bio. So please check it out, share, do what we can. Let's get together as a community and really help these two amazing black women achieve their goals. Let's just get straight into it. I am disgusted and absolutely outraged by the, I'm being so real by the way, by the level and the uprising of these crimes. Like 50 so far in 2018. What the hell is going on?
Don't know.
Like, do you know, yesterday I was genuinely, like, it really hurt my soul. I was actually angry. I was angry and then I was sad.
It sounds bad, but I've purposefully kind of avoided the media because it just takes a toll on my mental health. Like, I remember back in the day when family friends got stabbed, and not even that long ago, like, I don't like to consume it because it just reminds me of stuff like that. So I try not to consume it as much, but you can't really avoid it now with social media and everything. So even like, obviously the young 17-year-old girl, a young black boy,
and it's like, this is gonna sound so terrible, but we are from East London, and I remember, maybe just me, but you can chip in here, there used to be a time where, like, when you would hear about this stuff, it was always in South London, and it always sounded so far away because we're in East. Like, you know, you hear about this stuff, and a lot of things sounded like, it was like, you would hear so much about Peckham and Lewisham and all this kind of stuff, and Brixton. I'm not saying only, exclusively, of course not. I'm just saying you would hear it a lot. And now, especially with these recent ones, it's like Newham, Walthamstow, Mile End, Bow, and you're like, so it's like, raw, like, as if it's getting close to home, like. But it's crazy. And I have a younger brother. We both have younger brothers. And yesterday I actually had to sit down with him, and it wasn't like I just wanted to have a normal conversation with him. It wasn't like any kind of interrogation or, you know, don't do this or don't do that. It wasn't like that. It was just, you know, what do you, have you been hearing about all this? And he knew, like, he knew more than me. He was like, yeah, this happened here, this happened, she was this age, and this happened like that. He knew a lot. So he had obviously already done his research or been reading about it, which I was really surprised about. He was telling me facts. Yeah. So it was just a normal conversation of like, so, you know, what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think this is happening? Blah, blah, blah. And his answer to me was, he thinks that a lot of the like social media influencing, like promoting sort of gang culture. And he also mentioned a lot of the music, like drill music. Now I might be old, but I didn't really know what drill music was. Trap. Yeah, well,
similar
British,
to trap,
yeah. So I didn't know. So I was like, so it was a genuine conversation. Like, what do you mean drill? Tell me about drill. What are they talking about in drill? And he was basically explaining. He's 14, by the way. So obviously, if this is not true, then it's not true. But his version of events, whatever, is like a lot of the lyrics that these young people will be talking about in drill music is about killing and stabbing and kidnapping and blah blah blah. And a lot of people who might want to get into music will feel like they have to go out and do these things so that they can actually talk about it in their music. Because if they're just, because it'll be obvious or people will know that, oh, okay, you're spitting these bars, but they're not actually true. You haven't actually done that. You haven't tried to stab someone. You wasn't walking around with a knife. So then people feel that they have to live this lifestyle. So that actually in their music, they can be like, this is real, bruv. Like, I've actually done this stuff. And if we were actually having a conversation, because then the flip side of it was that he loves drill music. So then I was like, but so again, I went into a comment. So I'm going to rant here, but it was a really interesting conversation because I was then really like, so why do you like drill music? Like, what is it about it that you like? Why do you listen to it? And not only that, so what's the difference between you as just being a young person that enjoys drill music and then someone enjoying drill music and going out there and carrying out these actions if they are somewhat influenced by the music? So I was getting him to identify what the difference is between
and it's just your social context. Some people don't have a loving home and influences from their parents, and they're not economically well off, so sometimes that's the only way they can get well off. And you know, it's not as black and white as trying people make it seem like, oh, it's just idiots and thugs going out. No, some of these people are genuinely in a bad place. They don't have anything else to do, but this is something that happens because of what they're doing. Like, they're in back street alley business, something goes wrong, boom, someone's dead. Those kind of things happen. Like, it's not always like someone's gone out of their way to kill someone intentionally. Sometimes it's the outcome of the thing. And speaking from my family's perspective, my mum left East London and left London in general just because she was like, don't want my little brother growing up in this kind of environment. She doesn't want him to be influenced by what's going on around. She doesn't want to come home and his name's a hashtag. Like, she doesn't want to hear any of this, so she left. And that's real. Like, that is a real action that she left. One, because obviously the pricing of London, but also because she was like, yeah, I want to take him out of this environment.
So the numbers as past, what, like New York?
Yeah, by 1 in March. So New York had 20 murders and then London had 22. And what I'm trying to say is, like, it's also down to many factors. Gentrification. People are getting outpriced of their homes. Children are having to fend for their parents. London's so expensive. You can't look at it in terms of, oh, what it is. It's just thugs out on the street. What about the after school programs? What about the youth programs? The government closed them down.
Does youth clubs even exist anymore? We grew up with that.
I used to go to youth clubs, summer clubs, all of this stuff.
Come on, man. Does that even exist? Like, my brother don't go to no youth club or anything like that. Like, he has football, so football's his thing. But, you know, that's nothing to do with like school or after school. That's a complete separate thing. So if he wasn't interested in football, like, you know what I mean?
So this is why I praise like initiatives like the Manhood Academy that exists, that is taking, you know, young black men and, you know, showing them an alternative way to be, which is great. But not everyone can even afford that kind of opportunity.
Exactly.
And you can't just talk about empowerment and revolution from a standpoint where people agree with you and have the same lifestyle as you. Some people are in a lifestyle that generates crime.
Yeah, no, it's true. And another perspective of it, just from studying media, etc., it also like creates this media panic.
Yeah.
because
I haven't consumed it specifically.
exactly. And there's you know, we all know about there's certain things about media panic, like, you know, Ebola and stuff like that. It's a real thing. It's something that exists, cool. But the way they hype it up and make it more like, do you know what I mean?
Terrorism.
Like, yeah, terror,
Islam,
and
everything.
a media panic, and it really raises the alarm. And also, just my perspective anyway, I feel like, again, I'm not saying it's not like it doesn't exist, but when they hone in on it so much, I feel like there may be some people out there that now feel like, you know, everyone left, right and centre is getting stabbed or whatever. Oh, maybe I should walk out with a knife, or maybe I should carry this thing to protect myself, because it's like, it's happening on every corner and I never know when it's going to come to me, so I better be strapped up or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It creates this media panic, and some people are now thinking differently of like, oh, I need to be out here protecting myself.
And just another like perspective as well, like protecting yourself. Even that 78-year-old man who killed the intruder in his house, that's a murder. Are they counting that towards the number of murders? Is there context around these murders that's being provided?
Exactly.
Do you see what I mean?
I don't think that was in the count.
Because it just seems like they're always talking about gun violence, gangs, that 70-year-old, 8-year-old, in his right, he's in his rights in his home, to stab the person that invaded his home, that's a murder. Are you counting that towards that number? So what context are you providing?
Their context is gang related, man. We know the answer to that. Okay. It's gangs, all these gangs out here. Yeah, but talk to your young people, children, nephews, you know what I mean? Like,
you have time to like set up mentorship programs with young youth. If you have the time, obviously that would be great. Like, we do the teen experience with young girls, because young girls are getting involved too. It ain't even just men, how they try and portray it. Like, young girls getting involved in stabbings and stuff like that. So it's important to like mentor the youth if you can, and if you have the time, if you have the means, to try and talk to the youth.
But maybe going across the pond.
So yeah, to basically across the pond, it's been across social media and the news. Stephon Clarke, who was shot 20 times by police in his grandma's back garden. He had a mobile phone in his hand, and he died and left behind, I think, two children and a partner.
Wait, why did you mention the mobile phone part? Was that
because they thought he had a gun.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And the gun was the mobile phone. It's sad. Like, obviously, people, even we posted when it comes to him losing his life, and there is this narrative about Stephon and the tweets that he came up with, that he, whilst alive, he tweeted a lot of negative things about black women, and black women are upset in their right, like they should be.
What kind of negative things?
So negative things such as I don't want nothing darker than the only black thing I want around me is my Xbox. I'm black enough, I don't need to be with a black woman to produce no black kids or whatever, and you know, those kind of anti-black sentiments.
So these were being brought up because
found out by Twitter, and that I understand people's outrage about that. You can be outraged whilst he's alive or dead about that. That's fine for me. But in the case of his death, he was targeted because of his skin color, and
yeah, like that's why I was a bit like.
So to me, it's like that. Obviously, it's a shame that he wasn't alive to unlearn his anti-blackness. Because at the end of the day, had they not shot him, he may later on in life have unlearned that.
And were these old tweets? You know, people like that.
I'm not sure about the date.
And people digging up stuff, and
I'm not sure about the date.
Which doesn't excuse what he said, of course. No. But I'm just saying, like, I wonder how far somebody.
And his girlfriend was stepping in as well, like, to laughing about it, and obviously, probably anti-black Asian lady who fetishizes black men. But yeah, so.
But okay, but now I don't know about the loss of his life.
Yeah, we're talking about the loss of his life. The children no longer have a father. Like, to me, yes, be outraged. And if you don't want to support as a black woman, that's your fine. You don't have to.
Was that more the thing of like, should we as black women be
should we be championing the cause? Yeah, championing the cause for justice of his death.
Being shot 22 times in his, like, I don't like. Is that actually a conversation?
Black Lives Matter, to me, is not about respectability politics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy that that's even a conversation of that.
To me, it's not about whether you respect their lifestyle, their view, whatever it is, because like, Sandra Bland was homophobic. Like, people have issue with that. Do you see what I mean? And at the end of the day, you still mourn her death because she was a black woman that was targeted because of her black skin. You know, we're not a monolith. We're not all going to think the same way. So
exactly.
At the end of the day, I personally see issue with his death still, and I can understand that he was an ignorant idiot whilst he was alive, and that is it. But at the end of the day, if you start pinpointing things, you're going to start saying your life only matters because this,
and that's not
the
what
case.
I don't like. It's like, do you know what I mean? No.
So moving on to something more positive, Black women in leadership around the world.
Yes.
We have the first Black president in Trinidad.
First Black president, you know.
Yeah.
Female president.
Yes. Paula Mae Weeks. She is a retired judge. And yeah, man, that's just lit. Women are going to start taking over the world, and planet's going to be better for the good. You know what I mean?
History in the making.
Finally.
Hello.
You know what I mean? And then also in Costa Rica, they have the first Black vice president. And I think she's the first Afro-Latina to be a vice president.
Yes, she is.
Across Latin America. In 2018.
What's her name, sorry?
Epsie Campbell.
Epsie Campbell, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So I was reading that she was really pushing for... She was touching on subjects about racism as well. Like, she wasn't quiet about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and things like that. And pay gap. So she was pushing for these things and, like, reducing inequality. So you can kind of see, like, okay.
Good.
I hope she kind of sticks with that. And it wasn't just, like, a thing of just to get her.
To be honest, I don't know. I feel like Costa Rica has a high Black population, especially on the Caribbean side.
Yeah.
And they have, like, their own Black History Festival and stuff. So I feel like culture there is... The Afro-Latino culture there is very... you know, very, very proud. So I feel like hopefully she'll represent.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
Skepta was made a chief in Nigeria. I'm not sure the actual location. But I saw the picture. I saw him with like a certificate, that little picture, like
he's cool.
And in the whole attire, I was like, what? This is big. Not gonna lie, it was just a little. It was on Instagram, so as I'm scrolling, I saw it. I was like, wow! I saw everyone like, "Go on, Skepta, this is big." I'm like, okay, props where props are due.
Yeah, man.
Then we actually spoke to somebody
who's Yoruba.
Yes, and realized that for one, it's kind of, you know, it's not actually a big thing.
It's like blasé.
Become a chief, like not anyone, but you know what I mean. It's kind of easy to become a chief, really. It's not. It doesn't hold. I feel like the word chief to me sounds very like prestigious, up there and very prestigious, exactly. And it's just been brought to our attention that
she was like,
not really. And not only that, it's the chief of entertainment, which still shouldn't be. That's still like, go ahead. But I'm just saying, again, social media, the way they made it seem, I thought he was like,
I thought he was leading this tribe.
I thought he was like leading the tribe. I genuinely thought that. Is that now really stupid to actually, the fact that we actually thought that?
Maybe we're ignorant, yeah? But maybe this is the time you can call us ignorant.
That's fine. And it should still be celebrated. I'm not taking anything away. But it was really interesting to speak to somebody who was from Nigeria. For them to hear their perspective. For us, it was just like, oh, this is a big thing. This is bad. And it is a great achievement, but it was really interesting speaking to somebody who was from Nigeria, who, her opinion anyway, was just like, I mean, that's cool, but
like, okay.
Like, why is everyone celebrating? Like, why is everyone shouting about it? That's actually, you know, in her country, that's not really a big thing. But us, like, maybe, I don't know, Western world, we're like, woo! But nonetheless, we all know, like, Skepta's out here doing his thing, working hard.
Yeah.
And if that's a title that means a lot to him, it means a lot to his fans and
well
his people,
done.
then well done to you.
Well
done. That is good. From your country, like, some type of acknowledgement.
Yeah.
That is big.
Well
that
done.
is big. So as many of you have probably heard by now, there's this hashtag going around of Visa Bay. Visa Bay. I was like, Visa Bay?
What is that? I didn't even know, to be fair.
We didn't know. I'm not going to lie. We were like, huh? What's going on? They're like, yeah, you should know your influencers too. And we're like,
no, man, when you're hustling.
So we looked, someone was like, okay, there's this pretty little black thing who is an influencer who does a lot of basically lifestyle, I assume. Don't know her. RLT, something like that. Anyway, however, so she would portray this lifestyle on the gram, looking all cute and thing. Then it comes to light that she doesn't have
the visa,
the legal rights to stay here in London, and she will be deported within a month. Now, with this coming to light, she then reached out to her platform, I'm assuming, and asked for money. She needed £2,300 for her application, or to resubmit an application. Anyway, for her visa, so that she could stay in the country. Now, there were certain people that was basically like, hold on a second, this is the same girl that's flashing all these super expensive things, like real expensive. How you ain't got no money? £2,000? Thinking maybe she has that. Okay, maybe she doesn't have that. But then it comes to light that like you had a job and you quit your job because you wanted to pursue this thing online, but now you're asking for other people to fund your visa.
Here we are working full-time jobs, doing culture and other things at the same damn time.
So what's your excuse, boo?
I mean, being honest, can I be honest again?
Be honest.
Can I be honest? Just for a little bit, in terms of empathy, England is going on this hype about deportation right now. They're deporting all these people who came from the Caribbean from 60, when it was in the 60s or ages ago, and they're deporting people. In secret, they've either revised their policies,
maybe,
and now people who probably would have been applicable to stay previously have now been.
She was here since she was 10 years old, I believe, and from what I'm sort of hearing, and she was featured on Channel 5 News. What I'm kind of hearing is that she should have gone a while ago. So this wasn't a secret though. She knew this, and then that's one of the reasons why she kind of set up this channel and stuff, because she was like, to make ends meet, to make money, I'm gonna become an influencer, because you see influencers, right? They're making loads of money. That's how she's seeing it. So I'm gonna do the same. So not only are you living a fake lifestyle, because she would borrow like her friends' designer bags, and fair enough, probably get sent stuff. That's not the life you're actually living, and she got pulled up on it, like, but that stuff's not real.
So she's living the lie that was sold to her.
Yeah, because she
wanted
selling
it to somebody else.
She wanted to, yeah. But then the argument is, why didn't you just get a job? Oh, you did have a job, but you left the job. So now you're too good to work, but now you want us to give you money so you can stay in the country.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Visa Bay. I mean, you on the ground, proper like slay mama. Like,
I feel sorry for her. I do. For you to get to that point, look at your face. I don't even need to look at your face. Like, for you to get to that point of desperation, for you to be reaching out to people, like, for your visa.
I just want to know, where's the people around you?
But it's my point. Like,
where's your friends?
At the end of the day, I thought
family?
you were staying with friends, and why can't your friends help your visa? So in that case, if you don't have anyone around you, then I feel like, I feel sorry for you, because at the end of the day, where's your support network?
Sure. So the other thing is, she hit her goal. So that's great. That shows the power of her community, that she has people, feeling sorry.
She overshot her goal.
But that's what I'm saying. So now that 2,000 goal is now like 4,000, 5,000. So people are like, oh, but you still taking the money though. So what's this really about? So not only could you have not worked and actually raised the money yourself, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money. However, if you knew that it's not like it just got sprung up on you, like you knew. So you could have got a job, saved, you know what I mean? That you could have put things in place for you to be able to actually fund this yourself. But at the end of the day, I don't know her total situation, so maybe that's not the case. Fine. You've hit your goal now.
Can you not give the extra back?
Why are you still taking money if it's just for your visa? Be able to say that.
It's an application.
But,
it's not even guaranteed. No, it's not guaranteed.
No, that's a lot of money for a damn application though.
England's teeth in. England is teeth in. What application did England make to go everywhere else, please?
Okay.
This is why I take the whole story with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Like, if English people can scam themselves into other countries, if she wants to scam herself here, go on, girl. Don't
get me wrong. Like, I'm sure there's bits of the story that we don't know, as usual. But what I would like to say is, this is the sad thing when it comes to online influencers, and like, girl, that wasn't even your life. Like, literally, that's not your life. And if you actually scroll through this girl's Instagram and her social, it's like, rah, like you've actually done the most. Yeah, kids, you know, please don't follow these people.
Yeah, please. If
know,
that's what you want to consume, take it with a pinch of salt.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
And know that your mindset will be affected by that.
Don't believe everything you see on TV, in the magazines, and on social media.
Listen,
even
this video, like, we're here. We're not half a body. You can't see
a
our
green
legs.
screen, okay?
We don't live in pink or blue or whatever color this is.
Even the background ain't real, okay? So just chill.
We don't live in gradient, okay?
It's really getting crazy, and people are really out here doing the most to be seen, to get noticed, and
just create nice content. It is not wrong with sitting down with your friend, making a video with a green screen. Just enjoy yourself. Just be humble, be calm, man.
Like, obviously we take what we do seriously, but not
to the level of scamming you guys, like ever. Like, I'm sorry,
like
our integrity is worth way more than a jumping picture on the gram. But yeah, I think that's it.
That's a wrap
for Hearsay episode 17. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment below what you thought about the topics: crime in London, Stephon Clarke, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and if there's anything that you want us to bring up in the Hearsay episode 18, don't forget to leave a comment and let us know, or just slide in our DMs on the socials, you know, at CurltureUK.
Hey, that's it.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.